Hello and welcome to another episode of Vamonos by Caminos. If you are a teenager ages 15 to 18 in the Austin area and you are interested in a paid internship while getting professional development in the arts, you should visit www.austintexas.gov/Caminos by June 15th. It's easy to apply. Y vámonos!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Latin Arte Archive. I'm Marina Kinsey, and this is Aaron Castro. On this show, we will talk about great Latino artists throughout history.
On this episode, we will be talking about José Lementorosko, who was a great Mexican muralist in the 20th century. José Clemente Orozco, who lived from 1883 to 1949. Okay, he was born November 3rd, 1883 in Zapotlán el Grande, which is now known as Ciudad Guzmán, in Jalisco, which is a state in Mexico. He moved to Mexico City when he was a kid, and he was originally going to study agricultural engineering as per his parents' wishes, but wasn't his thing. And so he decided to study art, and he studied art at the Academy of San Carlos. In 1904, he was setting up some fireworks for Mexican Independence Day. He got a bit too close, and the fireworks exploded and injured his left hand. Because it was celebration and fiesta, doctors weren't able to look at it right away. By the time they got to look at it, he had gotten really bad gangrene, and so they had to just amputate his left hand. Now, let's talk about the revolution of 1910. I swear it's relevant. In 1910, revolution broke out in Mexico. Porfirio Diaz had been in power from 1876 until he was forced to resign in 1911. Under his administration, the Mexican Constitution had been amended to let presidents get reelected indefinitely. So he obviously took advantage of that and just kept getting reelected. Essentially, the elections became kind of pointless because he was going to win them anyway. Diaz had been a hero in the Second Franco-Mexican War, which is when France invaded Mexico to try and put a Habsburg on the Mexican throne, which didn't exist yet, but they wanted to make that a thing. And that's actually why Cinco de Mayo is a thing, because in the Battle of Puebla, Mexico managed to kick France's butt, as it were. And Diaz's policies favored wealthy landowners and industrialists over the people. Orozco got to witness the violence and bloodshed of the revolution, and that really informs a lot of his work going forward from that. And his work focuses a lot on human suffering, and you can see that influence from the events of the revolution. And in the back, we can see a piece of his called The Trench, which is in San Ildefonso College in Mexico City. This was a piece commissioned to kind of depict the Mexican Revolution of 1910. This is just a small detail of it. Most of the pieces we're going to see here are going to be less pieces and more details of a big mural, because he was a muralist. And so his pieces were enormous. In 1922, he started making murals. This was from when he went to California, when he went to the US, which was a little bit later in his life. But just an example of some of his work. This is Prometheus, which is in Sonoma College in California. But Orozco started making murals in 1922. And he was recognized, along with Diego Rivera and David Alfaro Silleros, as one of the leaders of the Mexican muralist movement. They were considered the big three of Mexican muralism. This is one of his pieces called Dive Bomber and Tank, which was commissioned by the MoMA in New York City for an exhibition called 20 Centuries of Mexican Art in 1940. And this was kind of like a commentary on the impending war, World War II. This was a piece, he spent some time in Mexico, and he eventually started feeling that he wasn't like appreciated in Mexico, and so he was like, I'm out, and he went to the US, where he spent 10 years in the United States, actually. And so this is a piece, a mural called The Epic of American Civilization, which is in Dartmouth College in New Hampshire. And a big theme in Orozco's work is history. Like, for example, here, this is like the roof of the legislative chamber in the Palacio de Gobierno in Guadalajara, Jalisco, which depicts Hidalgo, one of the like fathers of Mexican independence, Juárez, Morelos. This is also in El Palacio de Gobierno, Guadalajara, like on the stairwell, and it depicts as well World War II and like Mexico's involvement and the bloodshed, and you can see this kind of throughout his work. Something that's very consistent is like a kind of dark mood. This is a detail from a piece called Catarsis, which is in El Palacio de las Bellas Artes, or the Palace of the Fine Arts in Mexico City. Now, let's talk about Hospicio Cabañas in Guadalajara. These are my favorite murals of his, and I actually got to go see them. This is like a hospital complex that he was commissioned to paint on all the walls, the ceiling. See the kind of rotunda right here. Here it is a bit closer. And it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it is often called the Sistine Chapel of the Americas. And it depicts Mexican history, which we will see in a second. A lot of pieces that depict like similar themes kind of glorify these moments. Like, oh, the Spaniards brought civilization, but it's very dark and there's blood everywhere. And I think Orozco really did a good job of kind of highlighting that, no, this was not like a happy thing. This was bloody and gruesome and horrible. And this is like a panorama.
First of all, I'd like to comment that I really appreciate the kind of different take that his art plays on murals. Usually when you think of murals, you'll think of like the religious paintings inside of like churches, or you'll think of like famous artists from like Europe in like the Renaissance era. But this is an interesting take on murals, especially in the sense that a lot of them are pretty dark and reflect like what the history actually was, as opposed to what the glorified version of it was. And I really appreciate that in his work. I feel like that's not really done very often. But a question I do have is if he took inspiration from any particular artists that you know of, because I just don't think I've seen art like that before.
Yes, he did, actually. He was very inspired by the satirical illustrator José Guadalupe Posada, who made engravings about Mexican culture and politics that encouraged people to kind of think a little bit differently about post-revolutionary Mexico.
And that's another thing I find interesting about his work, is that it's uniquely like Mexican.
You can tell.
Like, even if you had no idea who made it, if you would look at it and like analyze the imagery and like the scenes in it, you would know that it's about Mexico. It was probably made by a Mexican, and I really like that about it.
Even his work about like the United States, the epic of American civilization, was very like, that was made by a Mexican. Like, you can tell.
it definitely focuses a fair amount on, because it's not just American per se, as in the United States, it's America as like an entire continent.
Yeah.
I definitely do appreciate that. You don't really see that very often. And I think that's very interesting.
I agree. Thank you all for watching this episode of Latin Arte Archive. We hope you enjoyed it.
Join us next time for our special episode to celebrate Black History Month. Bye!
Bye!
Hi, my name is Selie. I'm 16 years old. I go to Ann Richards, which is a school for young women leaders and just people in general. I'm passionate about art. I'm passionate about playing the guitar. My guitar is right there. I'm passionate about astrology, crystals, makeup. I love makeup. Just anything creative in general. I learned that sometimes it's okay to take charge, and sometimes, like, even though it's scary and it's not something I'm really used to doing, that it's possible to do and that I can do it. And like, if I believe in myself, I know this sounds really cheesy, but if I believe in myself, I have the power to accomplish so many things, even more than I think is possible for me, especially since I have like kind of a low self-esteem. I think not a lot is possible, but there's so much things that I'm capable of if I just try. 10 years from now, I hope to be a famous rock and roll star. I have my guitar ready. I'm gonna take classes, and I'm just ready to conquer the world. Or like an artist. I'm really not sure, but I really want to do something with art and music. And honestly, if it was a combination between the two, that would be like literally so perfect. That would be like my dream job, basically. I also stream on Twitch, which is one of my dream jobs too. 10 years from now, I hope I'm still streaming on Twitch. For future caminantes, I think it's important to know that this job involves a lot of teamwork, and it's like really, you're gonna get to know the caminantes you work with really well, and you're gonna become like almost family, friends, like for life. And at least I hope for life. I'm not sure yet. We haven't lived our whole life yet, if that makes sense. But it's just, you're gonna bond so much with these strangers. Even like virtually, I've bonded so much with the people in Caminos, and I feel like I've made so many new friends, and it's just a great experience overall, and I really recommend it to anyone who is thinking about applying. I wrote video on my hand because I needed to remember to film this video, so here you go. There we have it, folks. This is my video. Also, look at my rings, they're cool. I'm passionate about rings too, and jewelry and clothes. I'm so passionate about clothes.
Hello, my name is Ethan. The CLC made this video to give all of you an insight into our contest, Cuentame Algo. No one will tell you what you can submit. No one will tell you how to submit it. Amy will tell us about rewards for winners. And lastly, Itzel will leave you with a parting message. Above all, we want to let y'all know that this contest is a celebration of your story. The messy, simple, complex, beautiful story that can only be yours.
Hi, this is Kiona, and for this contest, you can submit works such as poetry, short stories, play scripts, essays, artist statements, or any writing to accompany a photo or photo album.
Hi, this is Nell, and the submission process, there's a link in the ATX Camino bio on our Instagram, and it's entitled Cuentame Algo Contest Entry Form, and it's just a Google form where you just put in your name, your age, your email, and it provides a place for you to submit your work. But we also have an option where you can submit by email, which is atxcaminos@gmail.com.
Hi, I'm Amy, and for this contest, there will be 5 winners that will receive a reward because of their outstanding work. It will not be based on how advanced your writing is, but because your story stands out and you show a lot of emotion.
It's me, Itzel. We hope you submit to Cuentame Algo, and we're really excited to see what you submit. We can't wait to read through all of your submissions. Bye!
Hello everybody, and welcome to another episode of Caminos Passion for Fashion. I'm Coral, I'm your co-host, and today we're going to be doing a sit-down video. I just want to have a discussion. I don't want this to be something you watch. I want to engage, I want to educate, I want to inform, and I want to build a relationship with you in this video, okay? So today I'm going to be talking to you about fast fashion. Now you may be asking yourself, what's fast fashion? So fast fashion is inexpensive clothing produced rapidly by mass market retailers in response to the latest trends. In other words, there's a clothing trend that just started, whether it was off TikTok or YouTube or Instagram, and all of these brands are seeing, whoa, a lot of people are wanting to start to wear this. So what are we gonna do? Let's get these things, let's get this piece of clothing out on the market as fast as possible. We wanna be the first ones to put it out there. What does that result in? That results in low quality clothing and materials that are not good for this environment and that don't last long. Some of these brands are Forever 21, Zara, Romwe, and Shein, and many more. I'm sure you can look it up and find a whole list of them. So how does fast fashion exactly affect our environment? So in the article, How Fast Fashion is Destroying the Planet, written by Tatiana Schlossberg, she says about 85% of textile waste in the United States goes to landfills. And unfortunately, these clothes that end up in landfills, they don't decay. And these fabrics not only end up in landfills, but they also end up in our oceans and in glaciers. So how do they end up in our landfills? Well, I'm gonna give you an example. You're scrolling through Instagram and you see it's a trend to start wearing a really cute top that has flowers on it, that are like 3D or something, 3D. And you want to buy it, but you don't want to buy it from the main brand that started the trend because it's like $80. So what do? You go on Forever 21 and you see that it's only $20 on Forever 21 and you buy it. And you wear it a couple times and then you realize you have a hole in your armpit that is not fixable. So what do? You throw it away because there's nothing you can do with it. This shirt doesn't serve its main purpose anymore. And why did this shirt get ruined so easily? Because Forever 21, to be able to hop on the wagon, to be the first one out there to sell this nice shirt at an affordable price, they didn't use good quality materials, and they used textiles and fabrics that are not long lasting. Now, with almost every environmental issue comes controversy. All sides of the argument agree, yes, fast fashion is an issue that needs to be solved. But some people believe that the real problem is synthetic fast fashion. These people that believe that synthetic fast fashion is the issue believe that fast fashion itself is not bad, but the material the clothing is made from is what causes the issue. According to the article, Fast Fashion Isn't the Problem, Synthetic Fast Fashion Is, by Maddie White, the most common synthetic textile is polyester. Maddie White states that this plastic ends up in our oceans where it can be swallowed by marine life, poison the food chain, and even alter the behavior of some aquatic animals. Maddie White offers the solution to this being that fast fashion brands need to use eco-friendly materials. So now that you've learned a little bit about what fast fashion is, you may be asking yourself, well, what can I do? and I'm here to tell you exactly what you can do. One of the solutions is thrift shopping. My first video I ever made for Passion for Fashion was me going to a thrift shop, and I came back with some pretty good items. And if you think about it, if these clothes were pre-owned and now are at a thrift shop being sold, then they must be pretty good quality. Thrift shopping encourages clothing and shoes and whatever having a longer lifespan, which takes these clothing out of landfills. Another solution can be renting clothing. Personally, I've had multiple occasions where I've needed some pretty fancy ball gowns or cocktail dresses, and I don't have the money to go buy a dress that I'm only going to use once, so I go on the website Rent the Runway. Rent the Runway has these really nice dresses that are made by really top-notch expensive brands that you can rent for like 4 days. And the average cost is usually like between $100 to $150. I mean, personally, that's what I'm doing for prom this year, so I really like that option. Now, if you're feeling a bit stuck and you feel like you're saying to yourself, well, I really care about the environment and I understand that fast fashion is bad, but I really like getting a good deal on clothing and affordable clothing that are with the trends. Then what you can do is enjoy the low cost of clothing, but make sure to buy pieces of clothing that you know you're gonna wear multiple times and that can last. I mean, it's pretty easy to show up to Walmart and feel one of the sweaters and think to yourself, is this something that might rip easily, or can I get multiple wears out of this? So those are just a couple things you can do, but personally, I really recommend thrift shopping. This shirt is literally from a thrift store, and I love it. And going back to my first video, you can find all these really high quality brands in thrift stores. You can find Nike, you can find Fila, you can find North Face, you can find Columbia. All these really nice brands are at thrift stores. You just have to go to the right ones and be patient and be determined to find the right article of clothing for you. So with that being said, I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video and that you learned something maybe that you didn't know before or that you didn't know much of before. And I challenge you to go to your closet at one point this week and look at the brands in your shirts and look up blank fast fashion and see if that store is considered a fast fashion brand. For example, look up Forever 21 fast fashion. Spoiler alert, there's a lot of articles on that one. Or you can look up Nike fast fashion. Spoiler alert, not actually a spoiler alert. I don't really know if there's a lot on that one, but I don't think there is. So yeah, that was my little discussion. Thank you so much for sitting down with me and having this discussion with me. I encourage you to do your own research and spread the word. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day. And yeah, bye guys.
My name is Selie. I'm 19 years old and I'm currently attending University of Texas at Austin. I am very passionate about, public speaking. I think that the art should really be normalized across a lot of age groups. And, I'm really passionate about society and, changing, ideological structures and all that, to, endorse a more supportive society in today. Caminos is a teen leadership program in which it endorses arts towards, Latinx teens. Caminos is not only an internship, it is a family to me. The interns here are all very friendly and talented, and we all support each other in all of our projects, whether it be physical ones or ones through online. What have I learned about myself through the Caminos experience is that my voice is very powerful and Doing the Passion for Fashion segment really taught me to be more comfortable in front of the camera, more comfortable, just talking in front of something. And that is really exciting because although we've been through a pandemic, it's like I've been practicing my public speaking skills a lot. What I expected before coming to Caminos was that it was literally all gonna just be art, but it was actually a lot of professional development because we were leaders in our own events, such as breaking barriers, in which we planned for everything. We led the whole thing, and that wasn't really something that fit my expectation for the beginning. And now that the program is coming to an end, it's amazing that we've done so much professionally. Now we're concluding, this class with a physical project, which is a mural, and that is very exciting. In 10 years, I envision myself making my own business centered around social inequalities in Houston. I'm not sure yet what I want to do, but I know that I want to focus on mutual aid because one thing that the internship has taught me is finding community regardless where you are. My thoughts I would like to share to future caminantes is don't be afraid to be yourself because more than likely the other interns will like you too. If you're interested in applying for Caminos, I recommend y'all to apply by June 15th. Don't wait. It's a fantastic opportunity and y'all can apply using the link that will be provided in this video. Thank you.
Today we're going to be reading La Suavecita by Lupe Mendez, but first we'll introduce ourselves. I'm Ethan.
I'm Amy.
I'm Itzel.
I'm Nell.
I'm Nona. I'm Selie.
And we're so excited to have y'all here. Remember, if you have any comments, to put them in the comment section below, wherever the comment section is. And yeah, like this video and follow us at ATX Caminos if you haven't. Let's get started. By Lupe Mendez. We dress my daughter in amarillo, not butter, or sunlight, or mirasol, maybe an Easter yellow, maybe a Dia de los Muertos yellow, a baby chick yellow, it doesn't matter. She flickers around the house all barefoot. She takes you by the hand and makes you play La Suavecita on repeat, her hair in brown, bouncy pigtails. All day, she watches your mouth, the way you say tambores, the way you say cumbia. She won't stop smiling. When she laughs, I hear my mother. I am back in her house, all barefoot, dancing to the same song.
My mother dresses in a teal bata. Not Miami or peacock or Tiffany blue. Maybe an Easter teal. Maybe a Dia de los Muertos teal. A robin egg teal. It doesn't matter. She flitters around the house. She takes me by the hand and teaches me how to spring my arms, how to move my hips, how to follow the beat already in my legs. She tells me, ay, mijo. One day, las muchachas will want to spend the night with you on the dance floor. Find those feather feet. Carry a smile and laugh, mijo. Laugh. I ask to play the song again and run to rewind the cassette tape. All day, my mother is all baila, baila, baila. Oh, baila, baila. All brown curls of bobbing hair, abriendo sus brazos. The moment I learn how to spin her in our shotgun house, she won't stop smiling.
My mother loves the color yellow. There is a sing, a flow around inside. My daughter oozes the color teal. When they lay eyes on each other, they watch each other's mouths, see just who smiles first. I'm just here, waiting to see who wants to dance. Si no la invito, me invita ella.
And a little about this poem, which was amazing. So this is from the poet. I wrote this poem mid-August of 2020, at first in celebration of both my mother's 86th birthday on August the 7th, and in celebration of generational love. I wanted to write a poem of joy and rhythm, something with some bass in it. I wanted to write about bright notions and what is passed down between the generations and in my house. It has always been el gusto y la música. This poem takes on new meaning now. About 10 days after writing this, my mother caught COVID-19 and passed away on October the 1st, which is why the poem is still in present tense. My daughter lives to dance and laugh, and through her, so does my mother. Yes, yay. Snaps, poem snaps. So yeah, so usually what we do is we have questions that we sort of go through, but this poem is a bit different, and I feel like I've just felt different too personally. So I guess we can just talk about how this poem made us feel, what it made us think about, and yeah.
This poem reminds me of my mom because she would always take us to like see live music, and then she'd start like dancing like in front of everyone, and it always it'd make my sister embarrassed more so than me. And she'd be like, "That's what moms are for, to embarrass you," or something like that. And it just reminded.
Yeah, like it reminds me of honestly like my tia, because my mom is sort of shy, but like my tia is very like, or just honestly like, you know, the family gathering, which I haven't had in like we all haven't had a lot of us since like for a year, you know. I like that just energy and that feeling of like dancing and the music, and it's very propulsive. Like it's very like being with family is something that's very, I don't know, it's a rhythm, you know. It can be, you know, whatever family means to the audience and to us. Like whenever you're with that family, that chosen family, or your regular family, it is like a rhythm you feel, like a flow. So that's what it reminded me of. It was very sweet.
Well, to me, this reminded me of when they explained how the mom and like saying like the specific colors of like what they were wearing. I don't know why that reminds me of like my family in a way, because we don't explain like, oh, they're wearing yellow, and we go really like specific. I just think it's like the funniest thing ever. We go, oh no, you know that yellow that's like on the corner of like this painting, like it's that yellow. It's not like, does that make sense? Or like, you know the blue that's in my room, that's the color that's my shirt, or like, you know what I mean? Like we're just.
Is that how it was when we were talking about the color gray blue or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Like we never say like what the color actually is. We like use other items or like objects. We use other objects to describe the color of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, also I guess reading the poem, I felt like a lot of like nostalgia, weirdly. I don't know if it's just in general, like because the poem triggers like, you know, memories from the past or what, but like also I did feel that sense of loss, like that, you know, because we have, you know, lost that in a way, and where it's coming back now, hopefully. But especially reading the author's note, sometimes the author's note at the end of poems is like, oh, like, but sometimes it's like a really big deal. And reading about this poet's sense of loss, but also they're like, because it's difficult to like, after something like that happens to you, that's very painful, to like go back to your poetry about that person or about that event after it's already done with, or the person has passed or something, and still be able to find meaning in it, because after something like that, you know, it just astounds me like how we, you know, find meaning in like loss, or find like a presence in an absence. I don't know.
That was deep.
No, but I want to hear your deep thoughts now. I saw you.
Oh, jeez. I put on the spot. No, I'm kidding. No, I was mostly considering it like a celebration. You know, I didn't really like notice the sense of loss until like the author's note.
Mm-hmm.
But even after the author's note, he was like, my daughter loves to dance, and through her, my mother does too, or something like that. And I just felt like it was still like, you know how Dia de los Muertos, you want to like
memory of like
their
life.
Mm-hmm. Like you want to remember them and celebrate them and do like give them things they enjoyed during life. And so he kind of did that through the poem when he was like describing how they loved to dance and smile and the colors they liked, you know.
So
Yeah.
I don't know, I felt more like, and he didn't even, he mentioned Dia de los Muertos, and that was like not even on purpose, because that's crazy. But yeah, I felt like it was more like
It was more like in
a
love,
tribute.
like
Mhm.
showing love for his mom. Never was it like, oh, because she passed away. Like he just said, like like he meant to say, like, even if when she were to like pass away, like her memory would still live on through his daughter, because his daughter is like the exact same, but like in a way she's like different. Does that make sense?
Like that generational love he mentioned.
Yeah.
That's the thing I think that's actually kind of cool about this, is that he wrote this before she passed, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't even do all that on purpose. It was supposed to be originally about like for his mother's birthday and the celebration of generational love, and it just happened to be all these other things that make so much like sense, and it just fits so well. That's like it's not in the best case scenario, but it's a pretty cool thing to have happen.
Yeah, and maybe it even brought like the poet, like maybe they could feel like wow, like love doesn't end, just because someone or something or something that happened has ended. It goes on. Like my friend also was telling me, like I was talking to her, like I was like asked her sort of like not wanting a serious answer. I was like, what do you believe in, like reincarnation or something? And she was like, well, like spiritually, like religiously, I don't think so, but biologically, like yes, because we all like decompose and become other things, and like our matter, our being, lives on to become growing plants and growing trees and like soil for, like we become other things, like we do live on, like we are reincarnated in that sense.
That mean we're eating our ancestors?
Well, I think maybe.
Thank you.
On like the topic of that though, I know I had to go get something because it just reminded me of this poem. So I have this poem that I really like. I keep all the poems that I get on paper. I have this folder that's falling apart of things. And this is just one that I really like that it reminded me of. It's called Pass On by Michael Lee, and I'd love to read it if you guys ever wanted me to. But it's in 8 parts and it counts all 8 of them out, and it's like when searching for the lost, remember 8 things. And it's a really good, I think it fits. They reminded me of each other.
Do you have a favorite line maybe you can read? Like, do you have a favorite line or stanza you can read us right now?
I can read the first 3 stanzas. It kind of, it's for context, you'd need to read like a couple of stanzas at a time.
Yeah.
I can if you want me to.
Sure, if you want.
Okay. Pass On by Michael Lee. When searching for the lost, remember 8 things. 1. We are all vessels. We are circuit boards swallowing the electricity of life upon birth. It wheels through us, creating every moment the pulse of a story, the soft hums of labor and love. In our last moment, we will come rushing from our chests, and we will be given back to the wind. When we die, we go everywhere. 2. Newton said energy is neither created nor destroyed. In the halls of my middle school, I can still hear my friend Steven singing his favorite song. In the gymnasium, I can still hear the way he dribbled that basketball like it was a mallet and the earth was a xylophone. With an ear to the Atlantic, I can hear the Titanic's band playing her to sleep. Music, wind, music, wind. 3. The day my grandfather passed away, there was the strongest wind. I could feel his gentle hands blowing away from me. I knew then they were off to find someone who needed them more than I did. On average, 1.8 people on Earth die every second. There's always a gust of wind somewhere.
Wow, that's very nice.
And so I just kind of like that comparison of like people passing on to a gust of wind going somewhere else. And the whole like bring that back around to Newton's law about energy is neither created nor destroyed. And so it's kind of like just this one big cycle. I don't know. I really like that analogy, and that was just something that I wanted to share.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
I can see where that kind of like goes together with the poem that we just read.
Yeah, but there's also something like so like not even thinking about like all of that like cosmically, but just something very like, think of it like we do live on in like our family, genetically, but also like just by the customs we pass down and by like like everybody has that one like family member, that one tia or something that like you're so connected to, or maybe like, I don't know, or like a friend you meet that you're like, wow, like so connect, and it just feels like so, I don't know. And like I think like that's also like that love is so like it'll live on, you know, and because like I don't know, it's like it'll live on in the things you do and the things you say, and like in ways we can't imagine. Like it isn't just cause and effect, it's a bit more complex. But yeah.
I just wanted to say real quick, I'm sorry I keep talking a lot,
No,
but it also reminded me of something like, sorry, no, you know when like you have like, I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but like you have a family member pass away and then one of the younger kids starts acting like oddly like that person.
Wait.
And it kind of like, it's like this weird like mirror effect kind of thing. Like I know that's how my brother, he's 4, he's almost 5, but he acts so much like our grandma who passed away in like 2013.
Mm.
And it's like that odd thing that's like you see so much of that person in another person.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, Selie, what did it make you think of? You're on mute.
Zoom.
Honestly, when I read this poem, it just gave me this like pang of nostalgia, and like it was sort of the similar experience I had when I read My Antonia, which is like some story about this guy growing up in the Western Plains in the United States, and like when I read that, it just gave me so much secondhand nostalgia. And this is like the similar effect. Like I just feel like what he's feeling, what the author is feeling without actually being there.
Yeah, I like this poem, and I actually, because I get like emails from the poets.org, so I had like been looking at it, and I had, as soon as I saw it, and after I read it, because it sends it to you every morning, like 2-3 weeks ago, I was like, this is what we can read in book club, and I just wanted to, because though like it sort of made me feel like heavy a bit after like reading the author's note, like it was so alive and so vibrant, and the words were so like rhythmic that it's like no, exactly like no said, like it was a celebration, a tribute. So, and that's so beautiful, you know, and such, you know, but yeah, that's, I guess, so I'm glad we read it, and I'm glad we shared that experience. So yay. We hope all of you also liked it, all of you who are watching. But yeah, like I said at the beginning, comment what the poem made you think of, how it made you feel.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Hello, my name is Ethan. The CLC made this video to give all of you an insight into our contest, Cuentame Algo. No one will tell you what you can submit. No one will tell you how to submit it. Amy will tell us about rewards for winners. And lastly, Itzel will leave you with a parting message. Above all, we want to let y'all know that this contest is a celebration of your story. The messy, simple, complex, beautiful story that can only be yours.
Hi, this is Kiana, and for this contest, you can submit works such as poetry, short stories, play scripts, essays, artist statements, or any writing to accompany a photo or photo album.
Hi, this is Nell, and the submission process, there's a link in the ATX Camino bio on our Instagram, and it's entitled Cuentame Algo Contest Entry Form, and it's just a Google form where you just put in your name, your age, your email, and it provides a place for you to submit your work. But we also have an option where you can submit by email, which is atxcaminos@gmail.com.
Hi, I'm Amy, and for this contest, there will be 5 winners that will receive a reward because of their outstanding work. It will not be based on how advanced your writing is, but because your story stands out and you show a lot of emotion.
It's me, Itzel. We hope you submit to Cuentame Algo, and we're really excited to see what you submit. We can't wait to read through all of your submissions. Bye!
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Diaz. I'm 18 years old and I will be attending UT Austin this upcoming fall. I am passionate about social justice issues from reproductive rights to healthcare for all. I'm also passionate about music and art. All of my passions are things that I take very seriously, and they matter to me a lot because they could impact the world, or they could just bring joy to another person, that person being myself or somebody else. And I really enjoy seeing other people happy. Something I've learned about myself in my year of Caminos is that for something to be great, it does not have to be perfect. Just like artwork, people come in all shapes and sizes, and we're all unique. And in order to see the artwork's true beauty, you don't need to compare it to others, just like people. And that is something valuable that I've learned this year. Coming into Caminos, I expected not to really become close to my co-workers because I'm very introverted, and it takes like a long time for me to get comfortable around people. But I quickly developed friendships with my fellow caminantes, and we all got along since we all shared one passion for the arts. And it didn't matter that we all had different preferred mediums for our artwork. We all came together and we became close friends. In 10 years, career-wise, I see myself becoming a physical therapist and being able to travel in my free time. Creative-wise, I see myself being able to give back to my community and provide resources so that minorities can have opportunities to explore the arts and feel as creative as they want to be. A tip I have for caminantes is to not come in with expectations for Caminos. Caminos is an amazing thing, and it really creates amazing opportunities and opens doors for everyone. I recommend you get along with Federico and anybody else. And I also recommend to do everything on time because it's just a work ethic thing, and it just makes you seem more professional. Thank you for watching my short little interview moment. I invite you to apply now to Caminos by June 15 at www.tinyurl.com/2021 Caminos apply. Wish you best of luck and hope you get in if you want to.